Hello guys, so today I'm gonna read the whole textbook of IGNOU BComf program. So the textbook I'm gonna read is BCOS-186 Personal Selling and Salesmanship. So this video will be very helpful for everyone who is very tired of reading the whole textbook. As this textbook is very easy, I'm not gonna explain anything. You can just open your textbook and listen to me reading the whole textbook, and after listening to the whole video you will understand all the topics in this textbook. After that you can study whatever you want from this. This will be like a introduction for everything in this whole textbook. So enough of talking, I'll just start reading the textbook. Okay, so get ready guys. I hope this will help everyone. Unit 1, Introduction to Personal Selling. Objectives. After studying this unit, you should be able to describe personal selling, its characteristics and types, discuss conditions that follow personal selling, explain advantages and disadvantages of personal selling, and discuss objectives and process of personal selling. Explain the diversity of personal selling situations. 1.1 Introduction. You have read about 4 P's of the marketing mix in the course BCOE 141, Principles of Marketing, and one of them is promotion. The ultimate purpose of promotion is to communicate with consumers to persuade them to buy and hence contribute to company's sales. It is also referred as promotion mix or communication mix. Various tools of promotion mix are advertising, personal selling, sales promotion, and public relations. Out of these, the major elements of communication are advertising and personal selling. Advertising is non-personal way to communicate with a large number of consumers through mass media like TV, newspaper, hoardings, radio, digital media, etc. to sell the product. Personal selling is personal communication to sell the product. It is a process wherein salesperson attempts to sell the products to the customer by interacting with consumers either face to face or contacting them through online medium like email, video conference, etc. It involves direct and personal communication with one or few prospective customers to influence them to purchase goods and services. To summarize, personal selling is a part of promotion mix which involves person to person, two-way communication for the purpose of creating awareness and selling the product and services. In this unit, you will learn about the characteristics, type. You will also learn about the conditions when personal selling is the best choice. As we sail through this unit, you will learn the processes, advantages and disadvantages of personal selling. 1.2 Personal Selling. According to American Marketing Association, personal selling is the oral presentation in a conversation with one or more prospective purchasers for the purpose of making sale. It is the ability to persuade the people to buy goods and services at a profit to the seller and benefit to the buyer. Philip Kotler defines personal selling is a face-to-face interaction with one or more prospective purchasers for the purpose of making presentations, answering questions, and procuring orders. Nature of personal selling. Personal selling is a two-way communication in which the salesperson educates the customer about the features, benefits, price, delivery, etc. of the product and apply persuasive skills to sell the product while handling queries and objections of buyers. The salesperson can customize the communication according to the requirements of every buyer. Salesperson stimulate consumers to purchase by matching product benefits with their needs, convincing them about product benefits and reducing people's inherent reluctance to make purchase decisions. Personal selling fulfills the objective of selling the product and developing long-term relations with the customers. B2B and B2C selling. Personal selling is generally used as major element of promotion mix in B2B selling situations. B2B is business to business, whereas Advertising is used as major element in B2C selling situations, business to customer selling situations. Personal selling may be used as minor element in B2C selling, and advertising may be used as minor element in B2B selling. Art and science. Personal selling is both art and science. It is considered as an art because salesperson applies the creative abilities in making final sales presentation before each customer in a unique way. It is considered as a science because salesperson applies the principles of consumer behavior and stages of personal selling as a basis of sales presentation to persuade buyers for purchase. Salesperson may be called as sales representatives, salesperson, account executives, sales consultants, sales engineers, field representatives, agents, service representatives, marketing representatives, etc. Offline methods. Salespeople can reach the prospective customers through offline methods such as face-to-face meeting or through a telephonic call. Online methods. Connecting with customers through email, social media, and other digital platforms. It may be comparatively difficult to keep the customer engaged and interested through online methods. Selling and non-selling activities. Personal selling may include both selling and non-selling activities. Activities like finding potential customers, contacting them, making presentation, and taking sales orders from them are selling activities. Activities like maintaining records, writing reports, attending meetings, training dealers, salespeople, building a relationship with customers, providing after sales services, etc. are non-selling activities. Growing importance of personal selling. The technological advancements have allowed the interactive contact between buyer and seller to be made through video conferencing, email, etc. Now it is possible for the companies to apply personal selling to the customers spread across the globe without increasing much cost, which was earlier a limitation. With increase in use of technical aspect in the new products being launched, role of personal selling is increasing for educating the customers about such new technicalities of the products. For example, use of microchips, artificial intelligence, online services, etc. 1.3 Characteristics of personal selling. Let us know about the key characteristics of personal selling and how are these different from advertising. Point 1 Buyer seller interaction. In advertising, communication is one sided from sellers to consumer, whereas in personal selling, it is two-way communication between salesperson and the prospective buyer. The interaction is not just limited to geographical boundaries, as the technological advances have made it possible to interact through video conferencing, email, etc. Direct communication. In advertising, the message is conveyed in non-personal manner through mass media like TV, newspaper, hoardings, radio, digital media, etc. But in personal selling, salesperson convey the messages personally to the consumers. Push strategy. In personal selling, salesperson present the product and information about it and persuade customers to buy it. It is referred to as push strategy as the product is pushed towards consumers. In advertising, consumers get drawn towards the product through ads, which capture their attention, get them interested, and persuade them to buy the product. It is referred as pull strategy as consumers get drawn towards product. Customization and personalization. In advertising, messages are standardized. That is, same message is conveyed to all the consumers through ads, wherein salesperson can modify the message to make it suitable to each of the prospective buyer. Human element. Person engaging in personal selling serves as the personal connection between a company and its customers. So, along with the verbal communication, it also includes use of non-verbal communication of body language, tone, appearance, etc. in conveying messages to the buyer. More engaging. The real-time sales presentation and demonstration makes it more engaging and experience for buyers. Quick response. Direct communication in case of personal selling allows the seller to gauge the response and purchase intention of prospective buyer. It helps seller to keep adapting the sales talk accordingly, which may positively influence buyer's purchase intention. Customer feedback. Two-way communication makes it possible for the buyer to express the feedback about product, price, its comparison with the competing products, etc. This information from prospective and existing customer can be useful for the company for making improvements in the marketing strategy. Cultivating relationships. It is possible for the seller to use personal interactions with the buyer for developing and strengthening relationships and building goodwill for the company. Check your progress. A. State whether the following statements are true or false. Question 1. Personal selling is one of the promotion tools in the promotion mix. Yes, it's true. In personal selling, meeting with the prospects can be face to face or through online media. Yeah, in personal selling, it can be both face to face or through online media. Yes, it's true. Personal selling function may involve non-selling activities also. Yes, this point is also true. Personal selling can be used for both B2B and B2C markets. Yes, this point is also true. Next, fill in the blanks. Personal selling is a dash strategy. It is a push strategy. Personal communication includes verbal and dash communication and non-verbal communication. Flexibility of personal selling makes it possible to dash sales presentation. Yeah, flexibility in personal selling makes it possible to customize sales presentation. 1.4 Types of selling situations. Salespeople work in variety of selling situations, which can be classified broadly as follows. 1. Based on type of consumers. Existing customers and new customers. Selling to acquire new customers who have not been using the product or have been using competitors' product. It is called developmental selling situations. It is a more challenging job as compared to selling to existing customers. Existing customers are targeted for repeat orders from existing customers of the company. It may also involve maintaining relationships with old customers to continue selling them. It costs lesser money and efforts to sell to existing customers. It is also called a service selling situation. 2. Based on type of market. Business to consumer B2C and business to business B2B. In B2C, salesperson sells the product to consumers for their personal use, and in B2B, salesperson sells to the other companies which will be using the product for use in manufacturing of goods or carry out their business operations such as office supplies or for resale to other consumers such as wholesalers or retailers. In B2B, salesperson tries to meet rational buying criteria of the customer, wherein B2C, selling can be done on emotional or mix of emotional and rational buying criteria. 3. Based on type of product. Consumer products and industrial products. Personal selling plays major role in the communication mix for selling of industrial products to other companies. It may involve frequent visits of salesperson, negotiations, greater emphasis on developing relationships with customer companies. In case of consumer, non-durables like shampoo, bread, Salesperson hands over the product required by the customer, and there is not much scope for use of persuasion for such products. Comparatively, role of salesperson is more in selling of consumer non-durables like TV, laptop, car to customers. Salesperson make presentation, demonstrates product, answer queries, persuades customer for closing the sale. 1.5 When to use personal selling. Personal selling is not an appropriate tool for every product or service, and its use also depends on marketing strategy or business model of the company. In general, use of personal selling is more in B2B market and use of advertising is more in B2C market. When their products or services are highly technical, specialized or costly, such as complex software systems, business consulting services, homes and automobiles. In addition, there are certain conditions that favor personal selling. 1. Product situation. Personal selling is relatively more effective when a product is of a high unit value. Expensive office equipment, digital Xerox machine, highly technical product, complex software. When a product is in the introductory stage of its life cycle and requires consumers to be educated, robotic machinery, when it requires personal attention for consumers' needs, real estate, or when it requires product demonstration or after sale services, manufacturing machinery. 2. Market situation. Personal selling is appropriate when a firm has small number of large size buyers selling machinery to textile manufacturing companies only, or when selling is small or local markets only, selling tiffin box facility to nearby customers only. Also, it can be used for selling to middlemen. When a company is using an indirect channel of distribution for selling the products to consumers, PepsiCo selling its products through wholesalers and retailers. 3. Company situation. Personal selling is best utilized when a firm cannot afford to have a large and regular advertising budget. 4. Consumer behavior situation. It is suitable to use personal selling when it is a valuable and infrequently bought product by the customer. For example, customers like to interact personally at car showrooms before buying a car. Personal selling is also appropriate to use when consumers require more persuasion, like in selling of interior design services. Check your progress. B. 1. State whether the following statements are true or false. Personal selling is used more in selling of industrial products. I think the answer is true. Question 2. Role of personal selling is more in selling of consumer non-durable in comparison to consumer durables. I think the answer is false. 3. Acquiring new customers is called service selling. I am guessing the answer as false. Fill in the blanks. Personal selling is more suitable for selling of dash priced products. So the answer of all this will be provided in the back of all these units. So check that out. I'll be skipping the questions and going straight to reading, okay? 1.6 Different roles of personal selling. Wide variety of selling situations call for different selling strategies and changing roles of salespersons. These are broadly grouped as communication strategies. persuasion strategies, negotiation strategies, and client profit planning strategies. 1. Communication strategies. Role of salesperson mainly involves with information about product, its price, delivery, service strategies to help prospective customer take the purchase decision. Persuasion strategies. In salesperson's role, there is more emphasis on convincing the prospective customer by matching the product benefits with need and satisfaction of the customer for persuading the customer to buy. Negotiation strategies. In some situations of selling to other companies, negotiating the product specifications to be provided and other terms like prices, after sale service, etc. become more important. For example, if a manufacturing ingredient is to be supplied regularly to a company over a longer period, the negotiations between buyer and seller become more important as it will be influencing costs for buyer and profits for seller over extended period of time. 4. Client profit planning strategy. In industrial selling of high-priced technical products, there is sharing of information by the buyer company with the salesperson about its different areas of operations, future plans, R&D, finance, logistics, etc. Then the salespeople, along with higher authorities, suggest and develop products within suitable price, which can help increase the profits of the client. 1.7 Advantages and disadvantages of personal selling. Advantages of personal selling. The advantages of personal selling are as follows. 1. Two-way communication. In personal selling, it is possible to have conversation from seller to buyer and from buyer to seller. Salesperson can provide information to the prospective customer, ask questions from the customer, and customer can also raise the queries and get them clarified. 2. Flexibility in communication. The significant advantage of personal selling is its flexibility to customize sales presentations for different customers and different situations. Salesperson can tailor their presentation to fit the needs, motives, and behavior of individual customers. A salesperson can also go on assessing the customer's reaction while making sales presentation and immediately adjust the message to facilitate better connection between the message and the needs of the customer. Thus, it helps in increasing the probability of getting the sales order. 3. Sharp focus on target customers. Through personal selling, effort to sell is focused on potential customers only. Thus, it minimizes wasted efforts, whereas sharp focus on target customers is not possible in advertising. Advertisements reach much larger number of audiences, which may include many people outside the target market of the product. A lot of time and money get wasted in advertising that reaches many people outside the target market who are not likely to buy. In personal selling, the salesperson identifies the potential customers who have the need, ability, and desire to buy the product and focuses selling effort on them only. 4. Personal attention and detailed presentations. Needful information is gathered about every prospect to plan and make sales presentation. Every customer is given personal attention and it is possible to give detailed demonstration about the product, answer customer queries. For example, a salesperson gathers data about size of the company, priority of needs, purchase department policies, type of customers of the company, etc. to develop right presentation for the company. 5. Instant feedback. Salesperson gets instant feedback from customers about their intention to buy or not to buy and may also know the reason for not buying. 6. Measuring effectiveness. Another advantage of personal selling is that it is easier to access the result of time and money spent in personal selling efforts. Results can be measured in terms of number of sales, calls made, number and size of sales order, expenses incurred and profits earned. So measuring sales effectiveness and determining ROI are easier for personal selling than for other promotion tools. 7. Getting customers' attention. The one-on-one interaction of personal selling makes it easier to get customers' attention, to respond to questions and to motivate the customer to buy. However, all the people getting exposed to an ad, watching TV, reading newspaper, etc., may not pay attention to the ad or may forget it or may not get persuaded enough to buy. 8. Performing additional tasks. Through personal selling, it is possible for the salesperson to perform multiple tasks. For example, in addition to selling, a salesperson can perform non-selling tasks like provide after-sale services, collect payments, and collect customer feedback for the company. 1.7.2 Disadvantages of personal selling. The disadvantages of personal selling are as follows. 1. Higher costs. One of the disadvantages of personal selling is high cost due to hiring, training, compensation cost of salespeople, selling expenses of travel, and loading of salespeople. Though many companies try to control costs by paying salespeople through sales commissions alone, thereby paying them only if they generate sales. However, commission-only salespeople may indulge in persuading customers aggressively to get the sale without paying much attention to their need satisfaction. This may result into bad word of mouth and loss of repeat sale for the company. Another way to reduce cost is that companies can use telemarketing, direct mail, and online communication with qualified prospects to reduce the cost of personal selling, but their effect in getting customers' attention and persuading them for sale can be much lesser. 2. High turnover. Another disadvantage of personal selling is the issue of high turnover rate among salespeople due to its problem of traveling, no fixed hours, stress of obtaining sales, problem of handling difficult customers, etc. As a result, it increases the cost of hiring and training new salespeople. Also, companies face the difficulty of finding suitable, good quality salespeople. 3. Lack of standardization in communication. Another weakness of personal selling is that salespeople of the company may differ from each other in their communication with customers. As customers differ from each other, salespeople vary in their final communications made to them. Even the same salesperson may differ in handling of similar customers each time due to differences in circumstances. As a result, there may be variations in results, and it may also influence the coordination of selling effort with the rest of the marketing mix. 4. Salespeople may vary in their abilities and motivation. Members of sales team may vary in their levels of motivation, leading to variations in their selling efforts. For example, salespeople may vary in their ability to make the desired number of sales calls each day or in their willingness to put enough efforts to prepare for presentations, etc. Sales manager needs to put in extra effort in managing each members of the sales team to get the best from them. 1.8 Objectives of personal selling. 1.8 Objectives of Personal Selling. There is a wide variety of functions that are performed by salespeople across different types of products, types of customers, types of selling strategy. For example, a salesperson selling large machinery or a salesperson selling small stationery items of companies will be different in their specific selling functions. Travel company selling tickets to individual walking customers or selling to big companies will differ in its selling functions. These functions contribute to achieving of personal selling objectives of the company. Ultimate objectives of all the functions and activities of sales department is getting sales, growth in sales, and to contribute to profits of the company at specific level. These objectives can be divided into two categories, quantitative and qualitative, whereas qualitative objectives are long term. The qualitative personal selling objectives are set for the long term and contribute to achieving long term company objectives. These objectives are related to selling strategy of the company and thus carried over from one promotional program to the next one. Quantitative objectives are set for the short term and are adjusted from one promotional program to the next one. Let us learn them in detail. 1.8.1 Qualitative Objectives. The qualitative objectives are as follows. There is 11 qualitative objectives. 1. To search out prospects. For any company to grow in its sales and market share, it is required to keep adding new customers. Thus, it is important objective of personal selling to keep finding new prospects for putting selling efforts to convert them into new customers. 2. Stimulating demand. Salespeople interact with them to perform activities such as informing and educating them about the product. They answer their questions and convincing them about how the product matches with their need and how its benefits will satisfy their needs in order to stimulate demand for the product. 3. Informing, educating, and guiding. Salespeople may be assigned with objectives to perform the tasks of helping prospects identify their needs, providing information to create awareness about the new products and services, educating the potential buyer with respect to using the product, guiding them about benefits of products. It may also include other services like installation, repairs, and maintenance that can be made available to buyers. 4. To serve the existing customers. The objective of personal selling effort of salespeople can be to keep in touch with existing customers to serve them in different ways. It can be for after sales services, training of company's employees about using new software to provide technical assistance to check on their needs, satisfaction by company's product, etc. Meeting them regularly and to continue serving them helps to increase customer loyalty. It costs less to serve the existing customers to get the sales as compared to acquiring new customers for getting the sale. 5. To do the entire selling job. When personal selling is the only tool being used in the promotion strategy of the company, its salespeople may be assigned with objective of performing all the sales related functions from locating prospects to selling the product, serving existing customers, providing after sale service and follow up. They may also be assigned with other non-selling tasks like for after sale service, meeting regularly to maintain relationships with the customers, collecting payment, etc. 6. Developing long-term relationships with customers. Salespeople may also be assigned with the objective of putting the required effort for developing and maintaining long-term relationships with customers. Activities like meeting and communicating regularly with existing customers to arrange for any after-sale support required by them, etc., can help to retain the customers for long. It is important for getting repeat orders from the customers. Serving existing customers costs less to the company as compared to acquiring new customers. Thus, developing long-term relationship with customers is more profitable for the company. For example, getting repeat sales for office stationery from existing corporate customer or renewing of maintenance contracts from existing customers. 7. To collect and report market information. Salespeople work in the fields and are in direct contact with the customers. Hence, salespeople may also be assigned with the objective of gathering information about customers' feedback regarding company's products and competitors' products to help the company make improvements in their marketing strategy. 8. Strengthening brand image, building company goodwill. Salespeople, through their interactions with customers, can help with the objective of building and improving brand image. For example, salespeople may emphasize it as a prestige product and may link it to building company's goodwill through their efforts like company's policies to care for customer satisfaction. 9. Helping in launching new products in the market. In certain situations, instead of using advertisement for informing prospects about the new product, salespeople may be assigned with the objective of introducing new product to the prospective customers. For example, salespeople may be given the objective to inform farmers about new brand of fertilizer and educate them about its benefits. He or she may compare it with competing products to show it as a better solution. Customers may buy it through retailers. 10. Help in establishing market positioning. Salespeople, through their interactions with customers, can communicate about the brand positioning of the product to prospective customers. For example, salespersons can stress in their communication about better taste of water from their brand of RO water filter system as compared to other brands. Thus, personal selling may help with the objective of communicating its positioning on better taste of water. 11. Providing support to middlemen of the company. Large number of companies sell their products through indirect distribution channel involving middlemen like wholesalers, retailers, agents, etc. Such companies often employ salespersons to serve these middlemen. Salespeople are assigned with various objectives of performing functions aimed at middlemen to help increase company's sales. Company's salesperson may be assigned with objectives to perform functions like maintain enough stocks of the product, providing enough shelf space for the product, desired display of the product, advertising and sales promotional material like point of purchase display material and guidelines on how to use it, collecting payments, etc. To keep customers informed of changes in the product line like addition or deletion of product item or modification of a product in the product line. To guide customers in selling optimum mix of products from the company's product line. To provide technical assistance and training to middlemen for selling the products if company products are technical in nature. To provide assistance to middlemen, guiding them on how to sell its products. 1.8.2 Quantitative Objectives. In addition to the qualitative objectives mentioned above, certain quantitative objectives are also assigned, which are short-term objectives to personal selling. These objectives are as follows. 1. To obtain a specified sales volume. 2. To obtain sales volume in specified number of different products for selling proper mix of products to contribute to profit objectives. 3. To keep the personal selling expenses within specified limits. 4. To secure and retain a specified share of the market. 5. To obtain some number of new customers of given categories. 1.9. Diversity of personal selling situations. Consumers buy wide variety of products and services, leading to different kinds of selling situations and selling jobs. Each kind of selling situation requires different kind of selling style involving different selling activities. These are namely 1. Delivery salespersons. Primary job of salespeople is delivering the products to customers to make the sales. For example, vegetable vendor person going to the residential area to sell bread, milk, delivering Pepsi to retail shops, etc. Such salesperson need to be regular in visiting customers and be courteous to them. They do not have much scope of using selling skills to influence the customers. 2. Inside order taker. Retail sales people behind the counter are inside order takers. Customers visit retail stores with an intention to buy certain products, and salespeople need to serve customers with their requests. Customers are free to choose any product. Salespeople have little scope of using their selling skills in influencing their purchase decisions by suggesting other products and brands to them. Outside order taker. Salespersons visiting wholesalers and retailers to take sales orders and support them in their selling activities. Salespeople call on retailers to motivate them to keep and sell their products. Their primary role is to take requests for stocks. In addition, salespeople can educate middlemen about new products and use some selling skills to persuade them to keep it in their stores. Salespeople may also need to inform middlemen of any changes in product prices, etc. For example, asking the retailer to keep and sell new brands of chips, or taking order for supplying of soft drinks or chips which are already being sold by the retailer. The salesperson will keep on updating them about the new products as well as existing products. 4. Missionary salespeople. Salesperson's role is to inform and educate those individuals about benefits of the products who influence buyers in their purchase decisions for the products. Missionary salespeople do not take purchase orders and do not call on ultimate customers. Goal of missionary sellers is not to complete a transaction and get the sales volume. This is a form of indirect selling as they do not make a direct sale to consumers. For example, a pharmaceutical representative might call on a physician to provide the doctor with clinical information about a medication's effectiveness. The salesperson hopes the doctor will prescribe the drug. Patients, not doctors, actually purchase the medication, or salespeople of book publisher do not sell books directly to students. Instead, work with educators to inform them about the books. 5. Support salespeople. These can be technical salespeople, merchandisers, customer service salespeople. Technical salespeople. What a product is highly technical and negotiations are complex. Salesperson need to be technical specialist to provide detailed information to the client, help in installation, provide training in using the product. For example, sales engineers. Merchandisers provide with assistance retailers on shelf display, implementing promotion schemes, ensuring stock levels, etc. Customer service salespeople. Such people look after maintenance of products and solve customers' problem if any after the purchase of the product. Creative salespeople or order getters. Such salespeople create demand for the product by using their creative skills. They sell a new product to the customers who do not know about it or who have no interest in it. They use creative skills for making the customers aware of their needs and show how the product can solve the problem or how a new product can solve their problem better than from the products they are using and make sell the product. They get new customers for the company by getting them interested in the product, making them desire for it and helping them decide to buy it. There is lot of scope for use of selling skills in persuading the prospects. Such salespeople may be involved in selling tangibles like vacuum cleaners, digital cameras, paintings, and or intangibles like consulting services, insurance policies, etc. This is a form of direct selling as they make a direct sale to consumers. Such salespeople require to have detailed knowledge about the product as well as robust selling and negotiation skills. Based on above type of salespersons, different selling styles can be of 5 types. 1. Door-to-door selling. The salespersons visit customers at their place to interact with them and sell the products. 2. Trade selling. They perform sales and other related functions for customers like retailers, wholesalers, and agents. 3. Missionary selling. Salespersons educate an individual with the power to influence buying decisions of others to buy a product. 4. Technical selling. They provide technical advice and look after the technical problems of the customers. 5. New business selling. They make effort to find and persuade new customers to sell the products. 1.10 Process of personal selling. A sales process is a set of steps that a sales team take to convert a prospect into customer. Having a standardized sales process adds structure and accountability to sales activities, leading to a higher rate of successful sales. It consists of sequence of steps that a salesperson go through to sell a product or service. It is 7-step sales process. These steps are as follows. 1. Prospecting. 2. Preparation. 3. Approach. 4. Presentation. 5. Handling objections. 6. Closing. 7. Follow-up. Now let us learn them in detail. 1. Prospecting. Prospect or a potential customer is a person or organization who has a need, ability, desire to buy a product. Prospecting is the process of searching for prospects. Objective of prospecting is to find sales leads for making sales call and trying to convert them into customers. List of prospective customers is generated through various sources like references, publicly available data, company records, etc. The salespersons have to make sincere efforts to find out the leads. They must interact with the leads and inquire about their requirement of products or services. They must try to develop good impression about himself or herself. 2. Preparing. It involves customer research and planning for preparation. It is collecting all the relevant information about the prospect like size and location of the clients, their needs, financial resources, purchase policies, etc. It helps developing suitable presentation for each of the client by focusing on needs important to the client and communicating relevant benefits to the client. The preparation must be very impressive so that the prospects may get provoked to think about the products or services. 3. Approach. It is the first contact with the prospective client or opening lines at the beginning of the meeting for about first 2 minutes. First impression is important to get the customer interested in listening to the presentation. Salesperson may start by showing the product or mentioning the most important problem of the client that match the product. He may inform about special schemes, discounts, offers, etc. for the customers. For presentation. A well prepared sales presentation can keep the client engaged in listening carefully. It involves taking or showing about features and benefits of the product, how it meets the need, demonstrating the product. Contents of presentation should be clear and credible. The presentation should focus on the detailed features of the product for which customers may be interested to know. He or she has to arouse the interest of the customers about the products. 5. Handling objections. These are questions raised by the prospects which can indicate barriers to purchase or an unwillingness to buy. It is listening to the concerns of the customer and answering them and providing solutions wherever possible. The objections of the customers can include objections to price, products, services, etc. For example, the concern can be competing product being offered at a lesser price, which can be answered by showing the difference in quality or features of the company's products. Another objection can be inability to pay for it, which can be solved by offering installment plan. 6. Closing the sale. It refers to the stage of getting the order from the customer. Salesperson can first go for trial close in different ways, like by asking for choice in payment methods, selection of mode or size, or after sale service plan, etc. Answers to such questions can indicate if the customer is ready to close the sale. If not, salesperson can ask questions to know the reasons for it and try to close the sale. 7. Follow-up. After closing the sale, it is important to keep in touch with customers to know about their satisfaction with the product or to solve the problem if there is any. It also helps in building relationship with customers and get repeat sales from them. You will learn about the sales process in detail in Block 3, Unit 8, 9 and 10. As with any other marketing communication method, personal selling must be compared with other promotion tools and evaluated for its appropriateness in achieving promotion objectives and its profitability as a component of promotion mix. It also must be evaluated for its contribution to the overall marketing mix. Once the decision to use it and its selling strategy gets decided, it must be well coordinated with other elements of promotion mix of maximizing effectiveness of communication strategy of the company. 1.11. Let us sum up. This unit discusses the concept of personal selling element of the promotion mix. It highlights that personal selling is a process wherein salesperson attempts to sell the product to the customer after interacting with them personally, either face-to-face or contacting them through online medium. There is direct two-way communication between buyer and seller along with the verbal communication. It also uses non-verbal communication of body language, tone, appearance, etc. It is referred as push strategy as the product is pushed towards customers. It has characteristics of flexibility of customizing presentation according to the customer, more engaging, allows for developing relationships with customers, quick response and feedback from customer, Salespeople work in variety of selling situations, which can be classified broadly as three types of selling situations based on type of markets, type of consumers, types of products. It is more appropriate to use personal selling in situations like B2B selling, high priced product, technical product, new kinds of product requiring educating the customers about it, large and few customers, for serving middlemen as customers when company cannot afford to have large advertising budgets for high value and infrequently bought products by consumers. Different roles performed by personal selling for different situations can be communication, persuasion, negotiation, client profit planning strategy. Like other communication tools, personal selling also has certain advantages and disadvantages. Its advantages include two-way communication, flexibility in communication, sharp focus on target customers, personal attention, and detailed presentation, instant feedback, measuring effectiveness, getting customers' attention, performing additional non-selling tasks. Its disadvantages include higher cost, high turnover, lack of standardization in communication. Salespeople may vary in their abilities and motivation. Personal selling is used to fulfill qualitative objectives like to search for prospects, stimulate demand, to serve the existing customers, developing long-term relationships with customers, to collect and report market information, to serve middlemen, building relationships with customers, providing support to the middlemen of the company, strengthening brand image and building company goodwill. Along with such qualitative objectives, certain quantitative objectives are also assigned to personal selling, which are short-term objectives. These can be to obtain a specified sales volume. Sales volume is specified number of different products for selling proper mix of products to contribute to profit objectives. To keep the personal selling expenses within specified limits, to secure and retain a specified share of market, to obtain some number of new customers of the given categories. There is vast diversity in personal selling situations resulting in different selling functions, which are delivery salesperson, inside order taker, outside order taker, missionary salespeople, support salespeople like technical salespeople, merchandisers, customer service salespeople, creative salespeople, or order getters. Process of personal selling consists of sequence of steps that a salesperson goes through to sell a product or service. These are prospecting, preparation, approach, presentation, handling objections, closing the sale, follow-up. Personal selling must be evaluated based on its contribution to the overall marketing mix. In addition, it can be very effective when personal selling is well integrated with other elements of communication strategy. Then some keywords is given. If you are confused with some terms, you can check the keywords section and also try to answer all the questions, and all the answers is given in the last page of that unit. And you can also refer terminal questions. This is also very helpful. Sorry guys, I didn't thought that one unit would take me 1 hour to record. So I think I'm gonna read and post one unit each. If you are willing to hear all this, I'll be keep on posting. Yeah, I'm just recording so that I can also rehear this, as I'm very lazy person, so I don't really like to read my books again and again. So when I read, I always record it one time. So yeah, hope this is helpful for you guys.